Come on. All right. It's time to go find out where my truck went. I thought it was weird that the snow melted just in this one spot. And then I realized my truck has wandered off somewhere. So I started up the four-wheeler, letting it warm up. We're gonna go see if we can find where my truck ran off to. I better get some gloves. All right, Duke helped me find my truck. That's not a very good parking spot.
It's 9 degrees in the morning and the sun's not shining, so right here I'm remote starting the truck for Duke.
There's my snow shovel. I put a bunch of snow in here. I was going to take my trash down. I've got 2 gas cans to fill. And inside, I got 2 propane tanks that need to be filled. Up. There you go. I made it this far up my hill, but couldn't make it much further. And I was trying to back down and pushing on the brakes to go slow, and it slid sideways. And I tried straightening it out, but it just kept going off the road over here. So I'm going to try out this winch on the four-wheeler and see if I can get my truck, the face of my truck, slid over this way. So I guess we'll do that now. This four-wheeler is not going to have much traction on the snow unless I tie it to a tree. right, well, it looks like the winch works.
And here's where I messed up, just holding the out button. And the frozen metal cable is now a rat's nest. I'm supposed to put tension on the cable as I'm letting it out.
Uh-oh. That didn't work. My winch cable's isn't quite straight in there. That has nothing to do with this, but I kind of want to fix it while I got everything set up, so that's what I'll do next.
Here I'm backing down the hill and letting out the winch because I'm going to try to clean up that rat's nest.
Alright, we still got quite a bit of cable. Alright, there we go. That's the cable fully extended. Now, I'll just winch myself up. It'll wind the cable nice and tight like it should be. I was heading the out winch without pulling on the cable, so the cable started kinking up on the spindle. Uh-oh. I don't think that's supposed to happen.
9-degree temperatures. My hands are already cold, but I can't fish this cable into the hole without taking off my gloves, so this was not much fun.
Stay. I don't have my toolkit in here. Well, I think this might be a project for a different day. In here there's a little hole that I thought I was supposed to just shove this cable in. But it's so frayed I can't get it started. Alright, I'm going to stop this video because this is tedious. Hopefully I can get it in that hole. Alright. I got a ride into town from my neighbor. I took the four-wheeler down to his place and he drove me into town. And I got some snow chains at O'Reilly's. I had to order them on Thursday and they got delivered this morning. So, as you see, my truck is back. I got it stuck on the mountain in the snow. And I tried this morning by myself to get it unstuck and I couldn't. And then my neighbor, I was telling him my story. And he had a good idea to bring two four-wheelers and try both winches at the same time. So we did that for about 2 hours and finally got the truck back on the road, and I was able to back it down the hill back to the kind of level spot where I can install some snow chains. So I gotta install the snow chains on the truck. It's cold out today. It's below freezing. It's not going to get above freezing. It was 9 degrees this morning, and it's probably about 22, 23 degrees now. But I have another project in here to work on, so I'm going to be installing this UV light that kills algae in my water tank. But before I do that, I'm going to use the daylight to install the snow chains. But I have this nice little remote here for my heater. And you look here, I'm hitting the remote. It was set to the lowest setting at 46. I'm gonna crank the heat in here. We'll let this heater heat up while I'm working in the cold. And this next project is gonna be fun. We'll see if that kicks on. Well, it just said in a Chinese accent, start heating. Good. We'll let this warm up. This will be a fun project. I'm wearing my other coat because my big winter coat, I was working so hard I sweated on the inside and the outside got wet with snow, so I'm letting that dry out in the camper. But I'm going to go in and get my GoPro stand, set it up, and attempt to install some snow chains. So here we go. All right, snow chains. Comes with instructions, and this is plastic, so it won't get wet in the snow. That's a nice feature. These were not cheap snow chains. They're made by a local blacksmith in St. Louis. Lay the chain on the ground and remove any tangles. Make sure the hook ends are facing the ground. Starting with the yellow end of the cable, slide the cable and chain behind the tire. Ooh. Alright, that side looks good. That's what it's supposed to look like. Oh, there we go. All right. I think I untangled it. This tire looks pretty low. I'll get the chain on first and then worry about airing it up, I guess. Lay the chain on the ground, remove any tangles. Make sure the hook ends are facing the ground. Starting with the yellow end of the cable, slide the cable and chain behind the tire. All right. Grasp the two ends of the cable and pull outward and toward the top of the tire, then fasten together. Use this as ground cover while installing. That might keep my pants dry. Step 3, pull the slide chain together to the center of the tire and hook the red flat fastener into one of the links.
At this point in time, I hadn't really thought about it, but I'm going to have to put these on all 4 tires, go up and down my hill, take them off, go into town, come back from town, put them back on all 4 tires. So I better learn to get good at this process.
I think that's right. Pull the chain together to the center of the tire and hook the red flat fastener into one of the links. Oh, I did that. Grasp the cable hoop to the back side of the tire. Make sure the cross chain is centered on the tread face. Okay. There's no way that's fitting around. I'm supposed to slide this blue and yellow cable back around the back side of the tire and slide this up. But this thing, it says universal for light trucks and SUVs, but I think they mean light trucks and not a big truck like the Nissan Titan. Alright, well, the good thing is I did order 2 more sets of chains on Amazon that fit these tires, but they don't come to my post office until Monday. And I don't have a way to get into town unless I ask my neighbor again. I thought I would be able to use these to at least get into town to get the good ones, but nope, that is not the case. Alright, well, now I know. There's the guineas. They kept perching on this front pole, the PVC, and a whole bunch of them would be on it, and it was drooping down. I thought they were going to break it in the cold because it's brittle, so I went and put the stick in the middle to hold it together. Alright, that's it for this project. I'm going to undo it, put it back in the bag, find the receipt, and then go work on this other project in the warmth. But this is what I put this on this morning before going to town with my neighbor, because that's how I brought the chains back and my supplies from town. So that's nice to have a place to put stuff on the four-wheeler. And this winch, it worked pretty good, except for when you unstring it all, then it doesn't work so well. But lesson learned there. Alright, we'll start again once I work on the water tank and the algae killer. Alright, I'm back and it's time to start the next project. But I went and unboxed it already, so I know it has 2 plugs, so I'm gonna need this 3-way adapter plug. And hopefully inside the shed is a lot warmer. I hear the heater running. Oh yeah. Turn on my light. Alright. It is much warmer in here. I'm gonna let this extension cord warm up. I already have a plan for this. I have to put this inside the tank. And I have a plan, so I went and got my tin snippers and put them in front of the heater to warm them up because they were in my cold shed. But I've got to move my water hoses. And I was reading the instructions here. really dark in here. It's hard to get good lighting without blinding it. But I may try to move this up here. There we go. So this is a two-piece item, I guess. The filter's in here that has the UV light, has one plug, and the other is the pump that moves the water through, and it's got a second plug. So the instructions in this box says that it needs to be 100% submerged. So that's a good thing, because I thought I was going to have to submerge just the filter and keep this out of the water. And the water level is right about here. But if I can submerge the whole thing, that's good. My only problem now is I need to get some way to get the cords to come out of the lid. So my plan is to cut a little hole down the side that I can just slide the cables over, and not chainsaw, but jigsaw would make the job really easy. So would a Sawzall or a grinder, but I don't want any of the plastic chips to go into my water tank, so I think I'm going to try these. So I'm going to set this up from a distance and see if we can get this project here done. I just stepped on Duke's water bowl by accident and spilled a whole bunch of water all over my electrical cables. Whoopsie. I hope you can see.
The camera was on top of the shelf, so I couldn't see the viewfinder to see how the picture looked. So sorry, this is pretty bad here.
All right, that should do it. I've cut a slot in the side. I can still put the lid on. See how yellow that water looks? Out here, it looks kind of clear. Oh, there it looks yellow. When you shine the light in, it looks yellow. That means there's algae in there. And that's what this black light that's in there now is supposed to clean up. And I see my bottle. That bottle has rocks in it. And I put the hose through the label on that bottle to sink it to the bottom so that I don't suck air on the top of the tank. But the label broke, so I have to fish that out somehow. But let's set this, now I got to plug in these plugs and we'll see if it works. Wait one. Alright, I got it plugged in to the three-way. It was so quiet I didn't know if it was actually working or anything, so I pulled it up. I can see in here the UV light is working, which is good. It's got a little indicator here, UV, but when I drop it in the water, I can't even tell that it's on. So I was like, maybe it's not working. So I took it out. This, I thought the 0 was on the switch, but that is off. O for off, I guess, not O for on. But UV light's working. I got to put the pump back on, put it back in the water, and according to this instruction booklet, ooh, so bright. It should take 3 to 7 days for a larger pool to clear the algae. So hopefully in a day or so this will clear it. But I'm just going to drop it back in there, turn it on, and let it run. But so that I have a comparison, I'm going to put this light outside the tank. You can see the bottom. It's pretty clear, but it's a little yellow. So we'll let this run for a week and see if it cleans it up at all. I'll even do it this way. So that's putting the light inside. From the outside, it does look pretty clear, I guess, but it's a little yellow. It'll just kill some germs and then drink it. But that's it for this project. It's got it plugged in, working. My solar panels, I've been getting extra juice because the sun's been out, so that's a good thing. I'll just put it back together, clean up, and it's done. Alright, it's all put back together. I can see ripples in the water, and I can hear it kind of moving around. So I know the pump's working as well. I tested the UV light. Everything's screwed together, the switch is on. Now we just wait and get some clean water. I also turned down my heater, so that's back to 46 to keep it above freezing in here. Keep my guinea and chicken and duke water from freezing. Keep my diesel warm and my gas warm. So, alright, that's a wrap on this project. That's what I was talking about earlier. All the guineas like to sit on that pole. There were 7 of them the other day, and it looked like that pole was going to break. So I put the stick in there. I wish I could zoom in on this thing to get a better view. If I walk too close, it scares all the guineas away. So that stick is proving useful. This water dish, I'm really happy with it. It thaws out their water in about 2 hours, depending how much water is in there, but it's solid ice because I unplug it at night. And then I come out in the morning and plug it in, and about 2 hours later, all the birds have fresh drinking water. So that was a good investment, and I got 2 of them because I thought I would keep one in with the chickens and one out for the guineas, but I've just been keeping the gate open, and they're finally getting along, I think, because it's so cold that they just misery loves company and they get along together. But in the summertime, the guineas pick on the chickens all the time. So yeah, it's still really pretty and beautiful out. 1 week and hardly any of the snow has melted. I think we had 2 days where temperatures got above freezing, but as you can see, it did not melt much of the snow at all, and we're supposed to get another inch of snow on Tuesday. So I'm gonna have to get new snow chains on all 4 tires later this week if I ever want to get into town with my truck. So that's the plan for this next week. But that's it. I recorded a whole intro this morning, but it didn't save because my memory card was full. But I have hot coffee, steaming hot coffee. And after turning on my tank heater, I have running water again. So what helped out, I think, the most with the getting the running water working, This, every morning I come in and plug in the chicken bowl, or chicken dish heater, water heater right there. But in here, once everything froze, I turned on Mr. Buddy heater in here. These weren't even frozen and the water still wasn't working. So I just keep this fresh water tank heater on because temps are still getting to single digits at night. So it uses a decent amount of battery, but with the sun shining, I still have to go and unplug my solar panels because my solar panels charge really good. But yeah, I do have coffee now. One thing I didn't think about until about 2 days after I didn't have water, I just came and grabbed some snow and melted that and used that for fresh water in my coffee. So that also works. I have plenty of fresh drinking water all around. Scoop up snow, bring it inside in my water pitcher here, and just let it warm up and melt. Fresh drinking water.